Do we really have to review this movie? I mean, we all know it sucks so much ass. Fine, whatever. What's up, guys? It's Will back again, and today's review is Rings. Rings is a horror film that was directed by Javier Gutiérrez and is the third installment in the Ring franchise for some reason. Okay, so Rings is all about a girl named Julia, played by Matilda Lutz, and her boyfriend Holt, played by Alex Rowe, who end up watching the tape that kills you in 7 days. Like in previous films, the two go on a long journey trying to uncover the truth about Samara Morgan in a desperate attempt to save their own lives, but also others who may potentially watch the tape in the future. Julie and Holt face some serious resistance, and eventually the two face off with some extremely dangerous and supernatural foes while they experience some horrific occurrences. Okay, so look, none of us expected this to be a good movie, and if you did, then I'm not sure what to say really, because what the trailer made this movie look like, pretty shitty in my opinion, is exactly what the full-length film is. You take extremely hollow acting performances and characters that have no personality or charisma whatsoever, and combine that with a story that makes absolutely no sense at all, and kaboom, you have Rings. Actually, come to think of it, we actually have a special guest that wants to do a sales pitch for those of you that still want to go see this movie for whatever reason. Hello everyone, WillBoxification here, not to be confused with that stupid hack WillFoxification. Do you like shitty horror films that make absolutely no sense? If so, you're in luck because I got a movie just for you, Rings. Rings takes all the things that you hate about modern horror films and cranks it all the way up to 10. You get ridiculous jump scares, a plot that makes absolutely no sense, and acting performances that will make you feel like you're watching Nickelodeon's Are You Afraid of the Dark? Call today to reserve your seat at your local theater to Rings at the toll-free number below. 555-555-RINGS. And if you call in the next 10 minutes, you'll receive a free copy of Bye Bye Man and Incarnate free of charge. So you definitely do not want to miss out on this offer of a lifetime if you love the shitty horror genre. Limited supplies, act now. Rings is not responsible for any long-term emotional damage to film may cause. Okay then, but in all seriousness, God damn it, it's that commercial guy. You have a great offer for you. Get out of here. Okay, so yeah, to be honest, there's not really anything to like about this film, and it's definitely one of the worst I've ever watched in my entire life. I enjoyed the first Ring movie, wasn't really a fan of the second, but it was still significantly better than this monstrosity of a film. I mean, it's not quite as bad as Resident Evil The Final Chapter or anything, but it tries pretty damn hard to compete with it for the worst movie of all time. The acting is some of the worst I've seen from a major motion picture like this, maybe ever. You have two main characters really, and both of them are about as generic, flat, and forgettable as you could possibly be. These performances are so astoundingly hollow, it's pretty mind-boggling. There's no identity to them, no personality really. They're just there, and you have to accept that they're off on this very familiar path of trying to solve the mystery of Samara Morgan. And oh, also by the way, Johnny Galecki from The Big Bang Theory for some reason elected to participate in this film for God knows what reason, and while he probably delivers the most compelling performance the film has to offer, that still isn't saying a whole lot. So now I want to discuss this story, because while there's sort of a twist that occurs in the third act, you're gonna be able to spot it from a mile away. Rings tries to be like, "Oh, surprise, I bet you didn't see that coming, did you?" But you definitely will, and you'll just be like, "Really, Rings? Really?" But just generally, nothing about this story makes any goddamn sense whatsoever. People never answer or even check their phone when the plot demands they don't, so they can't communicate with another. Samara is hacking people's emails and bringing down entire planes just to get one guy or gal. People miraculously recover from serious near-fatal injuries in minutes or seconds even, and characters do ridiculously dumb things that only serve to advance the plot. The biggest one is when Holt tells Julia, absolutely do not watch this video, under no circumstances should you ever watch this video ever. And when he wakes up later that night, Julia's just like, "Holt, I watched the video." And Holt's just like, "Christ." Just things like that, you know, that are laughable because of how ridiculous they are. It almost feels like a parody of the horror genre or something. And there's actually one I'm thinking of now that's just equally as bad, if not worse. Julia gets a copy of the video on her computer, and she tries to make a copy of it to show to other people, and she can't because the file size is just barely too big, because Samara made it just barely too big by hacking her computer or something. So Samara, the evil demon, is just like, "Oh, I really got you now. You thought the file size was just the right size to copy it and share with others, but you are fucked because I made the file size just barely big enough that you will be dead in 7 days and you are stuck in a box," basically. So basically, I'm a computer hacking demon and I got you right where I want you. But seriously though, in 7 days you will die. And let me tell you, the dialogue is just as awful as the acting is. The characters will say things to one another that feel like they came straight out of the shitty modern horror 101 textbook. There were people, including myself, that were laughing at some of the things that were being said in this film, and I don't think that's quite the effect the filmmakers were going for. And the jump scares, there's not a ton of them, but when they do show up, they're pretty goddamn ridiculous. Just standard cliche dumb jump scares that don't need to be jump scares at all, like people answering Skype calls and stuff. It just gets silly, and I have no idea why the horror genre keeps insisting on putting these jump scares in their films. Alright, I guess I was being a little overdramatic before when I said there's nothing to like about this film. There's one thing, the cinematography and some of the CGI. This is a nicely shot film, and the CGI of Samara looks pretty cool. That's it though. Just that. But overall, Rings was a complete and utter disaster, but did any of us really expect it to be anything but a disaster? Probably not. I thought it had some nice cinematography and visuals, and that's it. Sadly, it had some awful acting and generic characters, terribly written dialogue, a story that makes no sense at all, and a ridiculous ending. I'm gonna give Rings a 1 out of 10 and advise that you stay far the hell away from this monstrosity of a film. So did you guys see Rings yet? What did you think of it? I'm so sorry if you did. Feel free to join our support group. And if not, let me know whether you'd be interested in watching this film or not. Up to you if you want to take your chances. And as always, if you like this video, click that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for much more content like this. That's all for now though. This is WillFoxification signing off. See you in the next review.